Tonight on Gaywaves, we have two of the award-winning Fringe show at the Adelaide Fringe Festival, stars of the bizarre show, I think, Cake, and it's playing at the Bondi Festival. We've got runner-up of Season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, It's Drag legend Kween Kong, and we also have the star of the award-winning hit comedy shows Garry Starr Performs Everything and Grease Lightning. It's Damon Warren Smith, aka Garry Starr. Hello.
Hi, how you going?
I'm good, guys. Now let's jump right into it. Let's talk about Cake. This show sounds like a debauched and crazy show. How would you guys describe it?
Oh, look, I think it's actually child-friendly, to be honest. I'm just kidding. It's everything that you think and more. Cake. We like to eat cake. I've got a lot of cake on me. What do you think?
I would say debauch is a very, very good way to describe it, actually. I think it's filthy in ways that you didn't know that filth could exist on a stage.
Yeah, because this I'd noticed this show comes with a big warning on the website. It's got all sorts of things, including nudity. So, which one of you is getting your kid off?
Oh, it's me. It's me.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I wouldn't. Both of you would be fine, but yeah, that's fantastic.
I'm probably going to have my clothes off before the end of this interview.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's great.
I'm really restrained at the moment, keeping them on in my everyday life, basically,
especially in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, I have seen your stuff online, Damien, so I could understand why you don't seem to keep your clothes on for long, do you?
It's quite appropriate that we're doing this interview in a kitchen, because so one of the things that is inserted in one of my orifice is a ladle during the show. So
right, okay. Well, I can't wait to see that. That's quite interesting. Now you were not working alone on the show. There's a lot of other performers. Is actually this time? Is this the first time you've done Cake, or have you guys been in it before?
Oh, this is actually the second time I've been a part of the cast. I'm really excited. It's an ensemble cast that's sort of redefining what ensemble looks like within the circus, drag, cabaret, burlesque sort of lexicon. So I think, this new group is the trailblazers in their own right. I'm really excited to join them again. I think it's your first time.
Yeah, this has been my first time under this name, but I've worked with everyone on various other projects at other times. So it's it was like putting on an old pair of shoes.
Yeah, so I mean, so it's really like a mix of burlesque, cabaret, obviously comedy and drag. Are you actually doing drag, Queen, or are you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the cabaret. I have to. Yeah, it's typecast now after Drag Race. I can't do anything else, otherwise no one comes.
I can stand-up comedy sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes the makeup looks like stand-up comedy. So.
And Damien, of course, you're not well known for your comedy shows and your YouTube presence and everything like that. What we'll expect from you in the show?
I think some of the old favourites, but repurposed for this night, and then some stuff which is brand new for this. But yeah, a lot of silliness, like because I'm the host of the show, and so a lot of the stuff I'm doing is I'm really there to serve the performers. I'm there to keep the show moving to be the bones of it, really. But my job is really to serve the performers. So I've just managed to repurpose stuff that I love to do. It is the rehearsal so far has been like, can I do this here? People are like, yeah, sure. It's like, we need to set up a trampoline in the background. Oh, great. Well, I'm going to eat whipped cream out of audience members' mouths while that happens. Okay, that sounds fun.
Okay, this sounds like a show that you might want to or not want to be in the front row for.
Yeah, look, you're not safe anywhere because I tend to climb through I travel. Yeah. I'm a nomad.
That's fantastic. Now, look, I just want to touch on, of course, I've got to touch on RuPaul's Drag Race. How's life after RuPaul's Drag Race for you, Queen?
Oh, it's been awesome. I think, obviously I lost the crown, but I won all the bookings. So take that, Spanky Jackson. We've been recently nominated for a Logie, which is awesome because it's kind of breaking history.
You've not only been nominated for a Logie for the show, but I believe there's a little category called Bert Newton's Award for Most Popular New Talent.
Yeah.
How did you feel getting nominated for that? My God.
When my publicist told me that I was nominated, I had no idea what the Logies were. So is that a good thing? And then secondly, when they told me it was a popularity vote, I went, Well, look, I was super popular in high school, not in Drag Race, so hopefully I don't lose this one. So I made the mantle, which is still empty from Drag Race, available for the Logie. So I
Oh,
better let
excellent. Well, cross fingers. It's like we wish you all the best, and hopefully that comes through. Now, look, one of your things about, especially on Drag Race, you were very advocating for people of color. And how do you feel since your appearance? How do you feel that you've been received, and that message has that really got across in our community?
Well, I think definitely. I think outside of myself, the new season's just been announced, season 3, and there's 7 of 10 queens are queens of color, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's
I can
fantastic.
also attest to that the producers, there's more color in the producing room. So the stories that are going to be handled are going to have more experience to deal with that sort of story. So I think there was a massive impact, and even here in Sydney, like I've set up a couple of events and nights that are more POC sort of related, and we're just trying to inject more color and melanin into our scene, because I think Australian drag predominantly has been very led by a non-POC community. So it's been good. It's been great impact. I think the community's embraced it, and I think we're moving forward really nicely. And I think the Logies, they're just sort of a testing, and I think it's an acknowledgement of that kind of work. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
That's fantastic. Really great. Now, Garry, you stars of some of your shows have went amazingly. You've won huge Fringe Festival awards. Um, like I think it was Edinburgh, Berlin, a couple of other ones. Now you actually went from some serious acting, like Law and Order UK, and one of my favourite shows ever, which is Love My Way. I absolutely adored that show. What made you go from that serious stuff to like doing Grease Lightning?
Do you know what? I can pinpoint the moment. I was an actor for about 12 years before I discovered that like clown existed as a theatre form. I knew about clowns in the circus, and I think a lot of people in Australia still think that that's what clown is. There's always a red nose and floppy shoes. And I saw a show in Edinburgh, and it was a company called Spy Monkey, and they basically did Moby Dick, but they're complete idiots. They just didn't do Moby Dick at all. And it was sorry, we've got singing going on in
We've
the
got some
background.
opera going on in the background. Yeah.
They're baking the cakes. They're baking the cakes.
So I saw that show and I was like, wow, this looks like a lot of fun. And I was kind of getting a bit disheartened with acting. I got sick of doing other people's work, really. So I took myself off to France to train with a guy called Philippe Gollier to learn to be a clown. And then from there, I just created all my own work and started from scratch. I was only just getting to a point making a living as an actor. And then I went back to the beginning and had to take other jobs again for a while, but now thankfully I can, make a living doing the thing that I absolutely love to do, which is just be an absolute idiot on stage.
That's amazing. That is really amazing. Now, Kong, you went to the Fringe Festival as well in Edinburgh, didn't you? How was that experience for you?
It's pretty awesome. Like I've been doing Fringes for, I think my journey in drag was never in the clubs. Like I think I kind of found it easier to come up through the Fringe circuit because, as Garry said, there's more. Well, for me, there was more. It's going to sound so shady. There was more skill in the Fringe circuit with drag. Because I was like a circus artist and a dancer. I think I found more of my chosen family within the Fringe circuit because there was lots of artists, lots of people that were like trailblazers, people that were doing things that were different. And I think the drag that you see now that Queen does is more of the mainstream drag that I kind of did to get on the show.
Yeah.
Whereas if you sort of research and go back to maybe 5-6 years ago, I really looked like my dad with the wig on, and that was drag for me. So I think I don't know, like the Fringe circuit's always been really a really big part of my process of being able to be a drag queen, but be a drag queen in my own way. So yeah, I think the Fringe circuit's really important, and these artists are really important. Yeah.
Now, one question I've asked every drag race queen that I've interviewed. Will you go back for an All Stars or a Versus the World series? And also, I'll let you answer that one.
Well, yeah. Look, yes, I would definitely. I don't know. I don't think I can say much more about that.
Oh, okay. Does that no? Maybe something's happening. Maybe. Oh, look, can't wait. I mean, I think you'd go amazingly on either one. I think you'd be absolutely fantastic. And I do want another question I've asked Maxi and Art as well. How did you feel about going into Drag Race, knowing the restrictions on the contract is world famously known as being very restrictive? How did you feel about that going into Drag Race?
Oh, look, I think the main reason why I went on to Drag Race, because I'm like an introverted extrovert. Inside, like in drag, I'm like this monster persona, especially on stage. But outside of drag, I really don't like to be looked at or spoken to. And so I think going into the show, I was aware that the purpose of me going to that show was to put a band-aid on and also remedy what happened in season 1 around the conversations around race. That was my main reason. I think win, draw, lose, I wasn't bothered about the crown or any of that stuff because, because I've created my own pathway in the Fringe circuit. I know how to manage an arts career. So whatever I was going to get from that TV show, I was going to be able to build off of. So yeah, I knew that it was going to be restrictive. I was anticipating it, but I was just mostly there to serve a purpose and do it for my community. Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Now, Damien, I know that you're heading back to the UK soon.
I go back and got a season at Soho Theatre in London, and then straight on up to Edinburgh for the final week of the Fringe Festival.
Fantastic. How do you feel? Like, I lived in Scotland for a couple of years, and I love the festival. Is it one of your highlights of your career going to Edinburgh?
Yeah, look, I love it, but I love it less and less every year. I love it. It's kind of like, it's like spending time with family. The older you get, you just want to go for shorter amounts of time, really.
Yeah.
It's intense. I'm only doing a week this year. It's also very expensive now. Like it's getting to the point where you've got to really know why you're going now. You've got to sit down and go, why am I doing it this year? And if it's for exposure, you can do it to build a show. It's a really fantastic place to build a show, like to develop something. You can do it to get noticed, so you can get lots of press if you like it. Or you can do it because you want, social connections. And it's like my family are all there.
Yeah. Now, you sort of seem to be split between the UK and Australia. Where's home?
At the moment, it's Melbourne, but the landlord just told us they're selling the house. So who knows? But I was born in the UK, so I've got the dual citizenship, so I can go back and forth. But I'm getting drawn back. I don't know if you saw recently, but a clown, a contemporary, a good friend of mine just won Britain's Got Talent, and Vigo Venn, and it's really like it's just been such a wonderful thing because I think so many people had sort of forgotten about clown, and I think he's gonna lead a kind of a resurgence there in the UK. They've got such a rich history of alternative comedy and bizarre humour. So I think I might go back. I'm going back 3 times this year, which is really bad for the environment. So I'm cycling everywhere I can while I'm here.
Yeah. Now we know what you're doing next, but Queen, what are you doing next after this?
Well, hopefully winning a Logie. That's first priority. So make sure that everybody votes for me. That'd be awesome. But other than that, I'm doing lots of acting as well. So I've got a couple of TV series that I'm working on.
Wow.
Some scripted and some unscripted. And there's a couple of movies that are in the works at the moment too. So there's all that stuff as well as all my other practice with my events and everything. So doing lots, I'm busy, securing the bag and all that jazz.
That's so good. Now I know, Quinn, you have to get off to do a Logie's press call, which is amazing. So thank you very much, guys, for your time today. I know you've been absolutely run off your feet with press and everything today, so I do appreciate it. Please come back and talk to us once you've won the Logie and once you've come back from the UK, and we'll have a longer chat and we'll be able to sit down and really spill the tea and see what's going on, okay?
Amazing.
Thanks for chatting with us.
All right.
Opera music.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
Thank you.
All right, cheers. Bye.